And I think the biggest example of this is this Jeffrey Epstein wild thing that's happening right now. This is a truly, I think, watershed, like just once in a generation type of cultural event that we're witnessing unfold before our very eyes. I think this whole Jeffrey Epstein debacle by the Trump administration is the biggest outgrowth of this conspiracy death spiral that we've maybe ever seen ever, which is really saying something if you really put behind it. If you see all of the lies that the government has told about, the Kennedy assassination, for example, or Iran-Contra, or, all the wars, the terror wars and everything like that. It's like this is a really, really impactful thing. And I think this is the reason why it's hitting people so differently, and the reason why, Trump has really stepped in it with the people who are most loyal to him, is that this is not a faraway issue. This is not a faraway issue at all. Because, when we got lied into the terror wars in Iraq and Afghanistan by our neocon industrial war complex, by the military industrial complex and the media that is involved with that, it was very far away. And we're like, okay, like I've never been to Iraq. I'm probably not going to go to Afghanistan. Like, what do I care? Okay, we had bad people come and blow up the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and kill 3,000 people. Like, yeah, let's go kill those people. And people are like, okay, that sounds fine. But why I think the Epstein thing is different is because this crime that Jeffrey Epstein committed, and we'll get to the whole intelligence asset thing in a second, but just the crime of human trafficking and sexually abusing not only women, which is bad enough, but minor women, children that were around the age of 14, by the most powerful people in the world, and orchestrated by Jeffrey Epstein, by Ghislaine Maxwell, all these other people that were involved in this. It is like, because unfortunately, everybody knows that everybody knows someone that's gone through that. Unfortunately, everybody knows someone who, especially I think among the younger generation, has known someone, particularly women, that have been sexually abused. I know multiple, and I'm not proud to say that because it's awful. And I've talked with them about this, and there are many that have done that, and many of men, by the way, but I think it's more common among women. Although it's common in men, but it's a lot more common in women for obvious reasons, I think. And so a powerful person abuses sexually a younger woman is universally regarded as the most immoral thing someone could do, and it's local. Like, for example, like when some guy goes to prison and he's a chomo, he's a child molester, those gangs wipe that guy out in a second. Because they know, in prison, they have a system of morality that's congruent to the outside population. And so people want justice. People want scalps. And they should want scalps. It's like the start of Inglourious. It's that monologue that Brad Pitt delivers in Inglourious Basterds. And I want my scalps. I want scalps. I want people to go to prison for this. The vast majority of Americans, this is not a political issue. This is a cultural issue. This is why everyone's upset about it. It's universally frowned upon to sexually abuse young women. Period. By the most powerful people in the world as well. And what has happened with this rollout of the Epstein stuff, and the lying about the Epstein stuff, the cover-up of the Epstein stuff, from the Pam Bondi giving all the MAGA influencers the binders, and then them being nothing burgers. And it is the greatest case of over-promise and under-deliver that I have ever witnessed, ever, of anything. And maybe it will ever witness. Like, this is really bad. Like, it is absolutely wild to me, with all of the smart people that I believe are inside of the Trump administration and the Justice Department, by the way. I don't think Pam Bondi's stupid, but it is absolutely wild at how much the current administration has bungled this from top to bottom. And let's just go through some of the examples. So you have Kash Patel, who I like, in theory, who I liked before this, and I think it's kind of like, whoa, now I'm not sure on Kash Patel. Clearly lying to Joe Rogan, clearly lying to Maria Bartiromo on Fox News. I watched that. I remember it was I was at a wedding up in Sulphur Springs, a town up north of Dallas. It's right on the border of Texas and maybe Oklahoma. I was watching that interview, and I was looking at Kash Patel, and I'm like, this is a different person from the guy who was outside of the administration, like 6 months ago. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, what's going on here? Like, Pam Bondi blatantly lying about child pornography on television. The binder stunt, Trump lashing out at reporters like, we're still talking about the Epstein thing. Yes, we're still talking about the Epstein thing, dummy. Yes, of course we are, because you haven't given us an answer. You said you wouldn't give us an answer, and we have not gotten an answer. Yes, we're still pissed about it. Yes, we are. And we will not stop being pissed about it, by the way. And so, and the big thing is like, who was Jeffrey Epstein? Who was he working for? Who funded him? And who is involved with this? And there are lots of things being thrown out about this whole situation. Lots of stuff. And it's very hard to digest. You're drinking through a fire hose every time you poke this bear. But here's what's really going on. I think this is very clear at this point. This is the neat and skinny of the Epstein situation as far as I'm concerned. Jeffrey Epstein, most likely, has not been proven yet by any documentation, but based on all the things that we know now, I think this is clearly the case. And I've thought this for a while, by the way. Eric Weinstein, again, opened my eyes to this, and I said, okay, that makes sense. It's the only thing that really does make sense. Because what Eric Weinstein said was that Jeffrey Epstein was a construct. He met Jeffrey Epstein one time. He's like, this is not a real person. He called his wife right after and said, I just met a construct. I just met a projection of what someone wanted them to be. And so the question is, okay, who constructed Jeffrey Epstein? And the answer is most likely a foreign intelligence service, probably with the help of ours, the CIA, with all the other people that, the black box, everything that Tulsi Gabbard oversees. By the way, she's at fault for this as well. So Jeffrey Epstein most likely was an intelligence asset. He was an intel asset. He was a spy that was used by multiple different spy agencies across the world, including the CIA, including the Mossad. He was connected with Ghislaine Maxwell. Her father was a guy named Robert Maxwell, was a media mogul and a known asset and helper of the Mossad. He had, I think, 4 Mossad directors at his funeral or something like that. Deep connections with Israeli intelligence, who are very good at what they do. The CIA is very good at what they do as well, namely kill people and start wars and everything like that, overthrow world governments, but that's beside the point. And so the question is, okay, if we have a smoking gun, which I believe that we do, and we have multiple smoking guns, I think, then why has the smoking gun not been released to the public yet? Why have we not seen who's on the client list yet? And that's, I think, why you're seeing all of this hysteria, this cover-up from the Trump administration. I think this is what's actually happening. So I am of the opinion, just an opinion, but it's my opinion. I don't think this is wrong. I think this is right. I believe that what is inside the Jeffrey Epstein client list, the people that are named inside of there, maybe including the President of the United States, probably definitely including a former president, if I can say that, with President Clinton, is so damning, oh my gosh, Dan Bongino even said this the other day, I will never be the same after I know what I know. I don't know what that means, but I think it means this. Whatever is inside that client list, including the names that are on there, the governments that are affiliated, the intelligence services, the financial institutions, that when it comes out, the entire world order, as we know it, has the potential to crumble. Everything is going to fall apart if I believe what is in that Epstein file, the actual Epstein file, is in that Epstein file. Everything's going to fall apart. Everything is going to explode. There are many powerful people in politics, finance, arms trading, world intelligence, royalty, etc., that are tied up in this thing very, very deeply. That's very evident. Prince Andrew, the royal family, is tied up in this. The Mossad is tied up in this. The CIA is tied up in this. The U.S. government is tied up in this. Hollywood is tied up in this. And so this whole Epstein thing was a massive honeypot operation to centralize control and power over the most influential people in the world, both inside and outside of government, to unelected bureaucrats, namely our intel services, who actually run our government for the most part. It is not Congress. It is not even the judicial system. It is the deep state intelligence apparatus, the intelligence community that runs our country. And it has for a very long time. This is nothing new, by the way. So, because of this, I believe that Israel, the Israeli government, not Jews, not the Israeli populace, the Israeli government, the Mossad, their ruling class, and their interests around the world in the Trump administration, in lobbying, in finance, in whatever. They're putting massive pressure on Trump and his cabinet, many of whom are very, very loyal to Israel. So much so that they might be bought by the Israeli government. I think many of them are. They are putting massive pressure on Donald Trump and his cabinet. And many of them are bought off. Many of them are. And I think that'll come out too. And they are saying, you keep that list quiet. You repress it. You get it down. You stuff it down. You blow it up if possible. It cannot come out. That government apparatus, the Mossad, the Israeli government, and by the way, the U.S. government, I should say that as well, our government, the evil people that are in our government. There are very many evil people in our government. That's all going to come out too. They're saying, if you release this, there will be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. And there will be. So they're putting massive pressure on Donald Trump and his administration, the DOJ most specifically, who controls all of this, the FBI, our intel services, with Tulsi Gabbard at the helm, because they know that it will tip the scales in terms of Israel's standing in the world, including the war in Gaza that's going on right now, including all the stuff they want to do with Iran, including all the infiltration of our politics. They know that if Israel and their government and the Mossad are involved in the Jeffrey Epstein thing, in fact, might have financed the Jeffrey Epstein thing, it's over for them on the world stage. Israel's already kind of at a teetering point right now with a lot of people in the world. They have lost a lot of credibility on the world stage. If this comes out that the Epstein thing was financed and worked by them, it is over for that country. It is over for that government. And it is over, by the way, for the criminals in our own government who are helping the criminals in the Israeli government. I believe they have threatened President Trump. I believe they have threatened President Trump's family. I believe they have threatened the families and the sitting members of his cabinet and their families as well, which is why Donald Trump is behaving the way that he is. I believe they threatened his family. I believe they threatened the families of many people inside of the administration, which is why he's lashing out at people. Trump never does that, which is why he's reprimanded the media and he's made fun of them and stuff. But like in terms of like the wild yelling at the media, like he doesn't do that like at all. He mostly just insults them and puts them down. But now he's like getting frantic about it. And I've been watching Donald Trump ever since he came into politics. He's never behaved that way as he is about this issue with Jeffrey Epstein and with the Israel situation. They've threatened his family, clearly, in my opinion. That'll come out too. Hopefully it will. God willing, it will. But, however, when you say this out loud, when you say that Jeffrey Epstein might have been working for the Mossad, when you pull he might have been an intel asset card, what people have done is shut down that conversation. Oh, you can't talk, like Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset. No, he wasn't. What? No, it's some anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. You can't talk about that. What? Hold on one second. We have people in our culture, in our government, in our independent media, by the way, that are shutting down this conversation, that are attempting to shut down this conversation. Bill O'Reilly, Barry Weiss, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, to name a few. They are shutting this down. They are trying to quiet the Epstein story as some kind of anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, which is ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. I just read a story this morning. Barry Weiss, who runs a neocon propaganda outlet called the Free Press, joining CBS. Why is that? She wants to change the mainstream narrative on this issue. On the Israel issue. And I have nothing. Barry can worship the way she wants to. I know she's a very religious Jew, very pro-Israel. Fine. But you cannot hide the truth on this. That makes you immoral. Anybody who attempts to cover this, who says that it's some kind of crackpot conspiracy theory, they are a villain in this scenario. Everybody, no matter what their political affiliation, whatever, if they are trying to cover this up in the media, especially, they are a villain. Why? Because this is a matter of justice. Period. As I mentioned earlier, it is not okay in any circumstance to have young women trafficked, raped, sexually assaulted, molested around the world by the most powerful people in the world. It is not okay. And anybody who tries to say that it's not a big deal, that we should just cover this up and look the other way. They're a villain in this story. They are the problem. This is a matter of justice. And anyone that gets away in the way of that and away with that is the enemy. They are the enemy of the American people, of free speech, of these women that have been so mistreated and so assaulted and so aggrieved by this monster that is controlled by several united interests across our world. And we need to name names. We need to call these people out because this is a matter of justice. And if justice is not served in this instance, why would it ever be served again? That's why the Epstein story matters. And that's why we should all be furious, as I am, about this.